Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Great Sketchbook Journey. For this video, I'm going to be starting off with a desk cleaning. I've been needing to do it for a good chunk of time. I've been kind of lazy on it lately. It just helps declutter. Well, obviously it helps declutter and clean up, but it helps declutter my mind when I'm doing art. And, I do these kind of things month and a half basis, but I've been kind of lazy on it, so I think this has been sitting for 2 or 3 months. So, as you can tell, it desperately needed cleaning. And using I think I'm using a sanitizer or a disinfectant on the desk. Just don't want any. I want it cleaned, and I want it cleaned good. So that would entail sanitizing all the bacteria away from it. It helps just kind of declutter my workspace. I use an IKEA corner desk. It has like a top shelf area. Maybe on the next video I'll show off my desk and kind of show everyone. But I kind of bought it. I got it because it, in my head, it threw me in the mental space that this is like a little corner, my little art room already in my bedroom. But like, this is my art and creativity room that I do my creative thinking. So I surround it with stuff that inspires me and just art and ideas and scrapped art pieces, but I didn't want to get rid of them. Yeah. So, for the part of this video that I actually have in the title, I think, I haven't actually done the title yet, but here are some seashells for inspiration. Okay, end of the video. Alright, bye. Bye. What? Oh, there's more? Okay. Here's a shell of I think it's a scallop, is what it's called. There's a specific name. It's like an orange scallop or a strawberry scallop, or making up a name, scallop or something like that. Here's a clam, I think, because it was either a clam or an oyster, but I think it's a clam because oysters have the wavy lip to their shell. We live pretty close to the coast. Which means that we end up at the beach pretty often. Well, relatively often. Which led to us finding a lot of stuff. Some stuff I could put and take with us, put in a box. Some I couldn't. So while I'm showing you the stuff I could, I'll discuss some of the stuff I couldn't. A lot of these happened during fishing trips or beach cleanups I went to. The first one, and I guess the quote-unquote least interesting one that I did was our found was a broken half surfboard, which was unfortunate for someone. Things are built really tough, so I don't know how it broke. Must have hit a rock or something, because I think there was a jetty pretty close to the area where I was. This was during a beach cleanup. Then I think the next thing we found was a body of a animal called a guitarfish or something related to that. It had little rough nubbles, like nubblies or spines or nubs or whatever you would call them, on its back. They don't have a stinger. They're kind of like stingrays. Guitarfish are kind of like sharks and stingrays. But these guys they had the nubs on them, so they made it, or they felt really uncomfortable when you stepped on them, something like that. Next thing we found, during another beach cleanup, I think, was a seal or sea lion that had a shark bite on it. Well, not a shark bite on it. It had a shark's mouth chunk bitten out of it. Dead, of course, but that was interesting. Especially since they would leave that on the beach, because I feel like the Coast Guard would have like cleaned that up. Because seals and sea lions are like beacons of disease and terror and bad things and shots. I thought I had seen something where it was like you got 25 individual shots for fighting diseases that a seal bite or a sea lion or seal bite could give you. That could be completely wrong, but I thought I remembered reading something like that. That was another beach cleanup, if I didn't say that already. I guess the last thing I'll discuss that I found was a nudibranch. That was, well, actually, I caught it during a fishing trip in a bay. And I don't know how I caught this thing. It weighed, I think, like 10, 15 pounds. I think it was massive. It wasn't one of those really crazy colored ones, like you see on like National Geographic or those ocean documentaries. But it was still pretty interesting. It was kind of scary to get off the hook, though, because for those of you who don't know or do and just want to hear it again, nudibranchs are sea slugs, like that kind of thing. And a good portion of them are poisonous or venomous. I think forgot what the thing or what the difference was. I think venom was one that was injected and poison was one that was ingested or upon contact. But a good chunk of them are pretty poisonous or venomous or whatever. And, they can cause irritation and numbness and pain, and sometimes they can cause nausea and, death and, all the fun things that sea creatures do. But everyone got out of that unscathed, so yay, and we got it back in the water where it belonged. Anyway, so that's all the stuff that I found that I can recall right now that I haven't been able to bring home for obvious reasons. So, for this drawing, I'm going to be doing German World War II guided rockets or anti-air missiles or anti-air rockets or anti-air units as missile dragons. I've kind of had an inspiration to do biological machines or mechanical animals for a little while, and I've done a few projects on my own time with that concept in mind, but this is the one I've decided to record. I think they ended up pretty okay, considering the fact I was drawing them in a very short amount of time. Not as short as, the segment on the video, but, short nonetheless. It's kind of crazy. Been watching some documentaries about, like, the Nazi Germany, just technological power. And how ahead of their time they were with this stuff. I mean, they had laser-guided anti-air missiles in World War II. World War II. I remember another, I'll just discuss a few other concepts they had. Well, obviously they had the first, jet fighter in the world that was built and used in combat. They had four-engined bombers, but not in the sense that you would think. It was two engines hooked up to one prop. So they had two props, and it looked like they had two engines, but they really had four. I think that was a plane called the HE-117 by the company Heinkel. But that airplane kind of was a dud because it just sucked. It was weak, flimsy, not aerodynamic, just all around not good. It was an interesting concept, but it just wasn't a good one. They had a rocket fighter that was pretty interesting. The ME-163 Comet, which looks pretty similar to the drawing on the bottom on that page. It was pretty successful, besides the fact it came out super late and also had a tendency to blow itself up. Because they used, like, isopropyl alcohol and hydrogen peroxide as a fuel for it. Which, led to some serious problems. Anyway.